a little different now that all these beautiful things are here. This morning I light the Christ candle during the second week of Advent. And this is such a special time of year to light the Christ candle, because this is a time that we remember to birth the Christ within each of us as we come closer and closer to Christmas. Please remember, as you see this little flickering flame, that each one of you, every single one of you, is the treasure of God. Every one of us. And today is Sunday, September 9th, second Sunday of Advent. This week begins the theme of peace. I invite you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just relax. And always remember, when you go into prayer and meditation, to allow a soft smile to enter your faith. This will help. God's peace is mine. All things contribute to the calm peace of my soul. Peace is always possible, even on the busiest of days. I am never far away from what the Apostle Paul called the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. I am a living expression of God, just as every person is. I know that peace, like all of God's qualities, seeks expression in my life. In the stillness of prayer, I embrace God's peace. Please allow it to fill your body, your mind, and your spirit. Centered in stillness of God, I go about my daily activities affirming, God's peace is mine. All things contribute to the calm peace of my soul. While interruptions and inconveniences can no longer upset me, for I am in the palm of God's hand. A peaceful presence blesses me and blesses you and everyone that we meet. And from Philippians chapter 4, verse 7. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Amen.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory
And as we stay centered in this beautiful silence, Go with me as we begin to walk, and silent snow is falling. Feel the peace, the beauty. Mother Nature in all her glory. And as you move along this path, you will come across a reindeer and a rabbit snuggled together. Beside them is a bench. They welcome you to sit with them. Take a moment and in the silence, ask them what they can share with you. As you receive their message, thank them in silence with a love from your heart. Then move on down the path. And around a beautiful bend, snow is glistening, and you come across an eagle and a squirrel. And they too invite you to sit with them. In that beautiful silence, you ask them what they can share with you. And as you rise and say thank you for the message, you begin to move higher towards a beautiful light. And in that light, you see the lion and the lamb. And you go to them. And there's a very small stool sitting in front of them. And in the silence, they invite you to sit right with them. And as your heart is overwhelmed with joy and awe, you ask them to share. What is it that you can tell me? as you look up into that light, there is a voice that says, you are loved. You are perfect in your imperfections. You are my beloved child. Go in peace. Be like the lion and the lamb. Be like the eagle and the squirrel. Be like the reindeer and the rabbit. Take the gifts that they have given you and bring them into your world. And know that there can be, if we lay down our arms, if we lay down our differences, if we open to love, there is peace on earth, goodwill to men. So as you journey back through the path, back into the sacred silence of this very room, you bring with you a new perspective, a new reality, a new beginning of this day, to call it good, all good, and all God. And when you are ready and comfortable and at peace, bring yourself back to this very sacred place. Yeah, me too. So, many of us claim that we don't like winter. Winter months are cold, barren, there's less light, and supposedly there's nothing to do. Yet winter is a vital part of Mother Nature's plan, and as all good woman, she has a definite plan. Mother Nature knows for all of us that there is a season. Winter was planned to be a time of introspection and peace. It's a time to come in from the cold and regroup, if you will. Nature tells us that we must allow a dormant time, a silent time, a time to reflect before we can spring forth to a period of new growth. And as you think about a different perspective of winter, you can have a different experience of it. You see, everything is related to thought, whether you are in this teaching or not. We say in our teaching, as within, so without. And what that really means is within always means thought, and without means demonstration or experience. So we think we create a thought which creates our experience. Therefore, what we think about winter, or anything for that matter, is exactly what we get. And this is what is called a mental equivalent. But winter is a promise of new beginnings. Do you realize in only a few weeks we'll begin to have longer days? I believe the 22nd is the first day that there's a minute longer. The winter solstice will have passed, and the days, although they seem short and cold, they will begin to lengthen. But we need to remember that winter is necessary time of rest and renewal, which is needed before life can burst forth. But before we can go forward, we need to stop, look, listen, and allow ourselves to feel. And sometimes in that allowing ourselves to feel, we don't like what we're feeling. But rather than beating yourself up about that, the thing to do is, what do I do with what it is I don't like? What do I do with that? And to find answers for that, to go deeper within ourselves, first we have to rest in the presence of divine mind. We have to call forth that which is right there and waiting for us. So quietly, listen, be still, and allow your emotions to surface. And sometimes they're not the emotions that you want to surface, but it's okay, because sometimes that's just what is. But you will hear in that silence all that you need to know, and the answers come from within. So think about a time when you didn't know that it was snowing, and then you looked out the window and you just watched. Think about that. And you just watch and go there, and that feeling, that silence and the beauty, and especially when a child wakes up and looks out, it's snowing. That's something so beautiful. And the first snow of the season, we all love the first snow. That is true, right? We love that first snow. You marvel at the sight. You're always in awe of that new falling snow. And it's incredible silence there is in the universe. And what about the wet snow that sticks to every branch and coats it in its glory? Think about that beauty. Think about that peace. So we all need to take that time to go in and be one with the season and be one with the stillness. To go back to home base, to center, to universal mind, to cause, first cause, God, whatever you choose to call it, that which supports you. So in the big scheme of things, in all that goes on in the world, what really matters? Healing, forgiveness, and love. In the big scheme of things. I read a Facebook thing this morning that was so funny because it says to have a new holiday experience, invite all of your family members to dinner and then let them know that there is a child none of you knew about. Merry Christmas. So, there has to be some humor in it all. But I know in my family, my sister swears there's one, so I don't know about that. But at the end of the day, what have we accomplished at the end of the day? Did we do a friend a favor? Did we help a stranger? Like Rodney going around just hugging all of the beautiful ladies and gentlemen in the wheelchairs. Did you take the time to hear what your family and friends were saying? Were you smart enough to be quiet and listen? Did you share something? Did you give something of yourself? We all gave that were caroling to all of those great people. Were you gentle, honest, humble, kind? What is each day really about? What is our life about? And with all my heart, I believe it's about all these things I just mentioned. When paradise was lost in the rains and the fires, rather, the other opposing next town basketball team, they all collected and bought uniforms for all of the children in paradise that lost all the uniforms. The boys team and the girls team. And then they made friends. They made new friends with all those people and did that. That's what it's about. It's those type of things. We hear all of this bad stuff, but each one of us does such wonderful little things that matter. And that's what it's about. So allow yourself this time, this winter, to really slow down and be true to who and what you are. Read a new book, slowly, pausing along the way so that you can think about the words. And we get all of these books, and here's the latest guru, and here's the latest book, and we read all of this book and go, oh, wow, I just read a good book. Well, tell me about it. Well, it was a good book. So I invite you to slow down and read and pause and perhaps bring out your journal and something that's an aha for you. Start writing about it. And make that book your book of the month or your book of the quarter and really relate to something in it. Slowly pausing along the way. Fill your home with wonderful scents of cinnamons and apples baking. Play beautiful music. Turn off the TV. Clean out a closet and spend time with yourself. How many of you, especially the women, not that men don't do this, but how many of you closed yourself up in your bedroom with music and candles, maybe a glass of wine, and just gone through things and cleared out things, or an evening or a Saturday morning, it's snowing, and you just go, I'm just going to do this and be with myself all day? Or what about you? Sometimes you have to be with yourself too. Garage, basement, finish that project. So winter and the end of the year then invites you to get rid of the excess of your outer and come into your inner. It's a time to simplify. It's a time to clarify, clear out your mind, and enjoy your own company. And herein lies the key. Your own company. We have to be comfortable with being in our own skin. How many of you like your own company? You know, good, some of you. Good, lots of you. Great. You know, I love time alone. I love Sunday after church. I usually get home around 2, and I can't wait to put on something comfortable, and after a hectic week, I'm happy to just be. This winter, if you're not comfortable with yourself, take time to get reacquainted with who you are. Rediscover the beauty of who you are. Beloved child of the One. Maybe it's time, and I'll say this for myself, maybe it's time we became beloved adults of God. Maybe it's time. Charles Fillmore writes, it is the law of spirit that we must be that which we draw to us. If we would draw to us love, we must be loving. If we draw to us peace, we must be in peace and harmony. It's whatever's in our environment around us that we are drawing to us. So what are we surrounding ourselves with? What are we smart enough to step back away from? When do we know when to be silent? So what Fillmore is saying then is we create the things that are drawing to ourselves. Sometimes they can be a tough nut to swallow. So I say this again, this winter, if you are not comfortable with yourself, take the time to get reacquainted with yourself, who you are. Rediscover the beauty of who you are, a beloved child of the One, or a beloved adult of God. We need to walk in silence. See things that we've never seen before in winter. See the beauty. When is the last time that you made a snowman with your children or grandchildren? Got right down in the snow and did it? Last winter, because we haven't had enough yet this winter. When is the last time you made an angel in the snow? I can't even remember that. When is the last time you and your partner frolicked in the snow and had a snowball fight and laughed and had fun? When's the last time? Bring childhood back. This is a winter wonderland out there, and you experienced this winter. You know, when I lived in Minneapolis, I loved Minneapolis, and the reason that I loved Minneapolis is they embraced winter. They had ice parades and ice sculpting contests, and I don't quite get that fisherman thing out on a frozen lake, but they had houses out there on lakes, and guys had heaters in there and kitchens and whatever. Didn't quite understand that one, but they embraced winter. There was 13 miles of skywalk, so you could go park your car, take your coat and mittens and boots off, and you could go to the theater and go shopping and go to the movies and go to the restaurants, or you could just walk 13 miles around the city. It was an awesome place. I loved living there. So it's important that we find stuff that we have in our lives. See, to have spring flowers, we have to plant seeds. Plant seeds in the ground, bulbs in the ground, but seeds in our mind as well, so that we have a spring garden. So are you planning a spring garden in your mind while you go into winter and begin to relax and embrace what it is? Trust the ground lies still and frozen, but there's warmth below, and it'll keep the seeds protected until nature gently pushes them up through the earth. Do you have the same in your mind? Do you have warmth? Do you have thoughts that are taking form? Just plant the seeds. I keep planting a seed that there's going to be a new window in the wall downstairs in the youth room. I'm planting that seed. I know it's going to come to fruition. Maybe by the spring, maybe before. See, here's what happens. We miss winter because we can't wait for spring. Oh, when is spring going to come? When are we going to see that first crocus put its beautiful head up? Then we miss summer because it's too hot and we can't wait for the fall. And on it goes until we're missing life. Emerson says nature cannot be surprised and undressed. Beauty breaks in everywhere. You know, when there's one branch out there and all of a sudden you look up and see a bird and it's just so beautiful, you say, where did that come from? It's so beautiful. We all know the saying, change your thinking, change your life, right? Change your stinking thinking, change your stinking life. That's the antidote to that one. But what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about right now? What are you thinking about winter? What did you hear from the beautiful animals that stayed together? What did they teach? What does just that vision of the animals together bring forth for you? So I challenge you, and I challenge myself. I always challenge myself more. Slow down. Experience peace. And when you can allow yourself to appreciate the season, you can truly understand what that peace that all understanding means. How many of you feel rushed right now? Hassled a little? Claiming to be on overload? Yeah, I see you raising your hands. How many of you are willing to give up being rushed and hassled just by pausing? No, I was in, in fact, Rose said to me, I hope you didn't tell them that you were a minister at Unity. I was in Shopko the other day picking up things for the church, for my party, and for the 21st, and things of that nature. And I didn't know that it was super quality lower than low day. Didn't know what that even meant when I saw the sign. So when I got to the cash register, there were at least 10 to 12 grumpy people on every line. And they were miserable. So I said, okay, so my random act of kindness today is going to be to make people laugh. So I started singing, Let Me Entertain You. And people were like, so this one lady, like right here, and I'm just looking at her and I'm going, I can make you smile. I know you will smile. And so I go, there it is, come on. And I go, hey guys, did you get super sales today? And they went, yeah. Okay, then smile and be grateful. And so eventually through the lines, you started seeing, some thought I was crazy. They did. Some thought I was crazy. But you know, that was an opportunity to take something that was so miserable, and I wasn't going to just stand there and be in that negative energy. So it was fun. It was fun. You know, we each do what we can do. So yeah, that's the way it is. And you know, and being here today, it's remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. It's the fourth commandment. And the Sabbath means rest. Rest the body. Whatever, how many years it took or days, it doesn't matter. Whatever it took, there came a time of rest. And it's based on the recognition that everywhere in nature, truth is fundamental. There's a simple message in winter. Listen. Listen. And hear what it's telling you. Be still. Go within, feel the power of silence, see the beauty, and know that you are one with this universe. The gift that you are, And what you give this Christmas of silence, peace to yourself, from that gift, all things flow. You know, silence holds immense power to rule. And when you can still your mind and you can create a life what you want, instead of allowing the law of average to rule you, you take the power and rule. Instead of accepting the law of average, which will rule you. Silence helps us to understand ourselves and to discover our uniqueness and the gifts we bring to the world. Silence is a friend. We need to pay attention to and nurture our friends. Silence in the proper system is wisdom. So, say with me, I am still and receptive to life. I am still and receptive to life. I let life flow through me into all that I do, say, or think. I let life flow through me in all that I do, say, or think. I shall let my life be what it is. I shall let my life be what it is, and shall not worry nor complain. And shall not worry nor complain. I am now entered into the secret place of the soul. I am now entered in the secret place of the soul. And from Mother Teresa, she says, we need to find God. And we can't find God in the noise and the restlessness, the chaos and the crisis. God is a friend of silence, she says. See how nature, trees, flowers, grass grow in silence. See the stars and the sun. See how they move in silence. We need silence to be able to touch souls. Through the portals of silence, the healing of sun, wisdom, and peace will definitely shine upon all of you. And for this, and for so much more, in this very moment, begins a precious new moment. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Done.